trying to figure out before we move forward with anything.
Yeah. I'll start it. Yeah. All right. So Becky did all these wonderful maps, and I think I shared this with all of you too. Well, two things. One is the conversation that we had with Jennifer, and then Jennifer Doherty at the Mass Historical Commission, and then Ben Haley, who does Jennifer is more of the local stuff, and Ben is more of the national districts. So that was part of the conversation, like if we wanted to do a local, if we wanted to do a national district, and some of the explanations behind that. And they both were thinking that, you know, it was quite a large district, and was it like worthy of being that large, right? So Becky took some of the maps, and also very nicely at the engineer's office made some printouts of the maps if we want to look at them. And then we also came across what David's wife Donna did back in '99.
Right.
To back up a second, so we realized that these B forms that we've been working on forever is really not the right form. It's
Oh.
I know, it's a little devastating.
That was one of the first things, like, do we have to convert all these to A forms?
Well, if
Yes, we do.
So
if
good,
you go to somewhere in your packet, you're going to see a page that looks like this. This is a start of an A form. It's showing 2A Street through 7C Street because that's what fit on one page. A lot of this information we already have because of the 1989 Belding report. So I was able to take MHC numbers from the Belding report. I was able to verify year built, estimated year built, historic name, and style. All based on the 89 Belding report.
and the thing that's potentially good about the A form is it's one form for the district. It's like giving a narrative of the district rather than saying this building is unique because of that. They're not all that unique, but as a collective, they tell a story about a mill village, right? And that's kind of what Donna had started back in '99
Right.
on this form.
Now, when Donna did it in '99, there are 81 properties based on,
And you can see the streets listed.
it was 81 properties.
that? Oh, maybe.
It's right here.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry,
I printed enough.
84 properties based on 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 streets.
Right.
Sorry.
When we did it, we now have 415 properties
Yes.
on 24 streets. So what I did is, if you look on the board, this is a rough estimate of what the 84 properties were. It's actually 128, but these are the streets that that the 99 that Donna worked on had initially had.
So it's really clustered.
Okay? Now
But it's funny how, can I stand up
Yeah.
here?
and I can enlarge
This
it if
is
you
like
want
all
to.
Main Street, right? And then there's like a little spot that.
From the town common.
That's,
Okay.
I bet you this is Cook Street.
Okay.
I'm thinking that might be Cook Street. So then, what we do
Hard to tell.
is then we add what we have
They're
for
all-
2023.
Oh, wow.
Nice graphics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we expanded
Yeah.
by a lot.
Right.
So I'm guessing we're looking at it in like the middle there is like East Douglas, like the downtown, and then up at the top, would that be like the common area?
Nope, so,
what
this
I-
is East Douglas, this is Depot,
Oh, okay.
this is Manchog, Caswell,
Oh, okay.
what was right next to Caswell?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it.
I can't remember which one this is.
It's just more, basically, they're
And then
both,
this is North Street.
they're basically
Oh,
both
okay.
Main
So that
Street
big lo-
and the
oh, okay, I
downtown,
see
but it's like
16
more
now.
offshoots. You know, it's like how
Yeah.
many offshoot roads do we want to do?
Right.
So, oh, no,
No.
I was gonna go, so going on a different mentality, so a lot of what the properties Donna and the commission did in 99 were all Macris. Every single one was part of the 89 Belding report.
Right.
So, yeah, so what Becky explained to me was like the Belding book that we've been going by, what Sue had done everything off of forever, is now digitized on Macris. It's basically the same
Right.
thing. But I didn't know that. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew.
So, well, I'm calling it source points. For the 415 properties, I decided I wanted to find out what source we had for them. If it was Belding report, it was a Macris source. If it wasn't on Belding, but it was in Marsh, it became a Marsh source. And anything that didn't fit either one of those became a Douglas Assessor Site source. Because that's where we're getting the majority of the information for these properties.
Yeah, like the building year and some of the
So-
photos.
This is Macris.
Okay. Okay. It's kind of in between the 99 and.
Yep. This is if we add in Marsh. So Marsh is everything pre-1968 to 1970.
Okay. And that's our 2023 district, right? That's everything?
Yep. And then the ones that were Douglas Assessor Site.
Okay.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, another 83. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot.
So I'm like, okay, let's look at one more statistic graphic. Let's go by years that the properties were built. Sorry? Okay. 1700s, we've got 2.
Wow.
Just two.
Just 2. The 1800s is where a bunch more came in.
Okay.
Wow.
So you've got a lot of regular housing pop up, and then you've also got mill housing popping up.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Okay. Now, I did my next time period, I did 1940 to 1945. I picked 1945 as the cutoff point because that's the end of World War II. After World War II, you have a whole new type of generation come in with a housing boom, a baby boom, and all of that.
Yeah.
Where pre-1945 is a lot of the mill boom in town. So if you then add that time period, we're adding this.
Okay.
After 45, I did 45 to 70, because 70's kind of been our cutoff point.
For like the 50 years or so.
Yep. We added a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That-
Yeah.
Like, if you look at how much got added
Mm-hmm.
post-World War II, we've got 81 properties. And
Yeah.
then,
I have a comment when you're done with the finishing up.
and then we just have the 1970s and later, and we still have 49 properties there. So this
Yeah.
is just, I just wanted to see how the district changed
Yeah.
based on the years and the different booms that were coming through.
Yeah, because I would say if you go back, can you scroll
Yep.
back up for a sec? Like, I would say if we went just the 1800s and those two in the 1700s, that to me seems sufficient, but maybe that's not quite how we want to do it because there's still properties
We're
within the district.
what we're losing for there is we're getting the Axe Mill mill boom, but we're not getting the Schuster mill boom.
Okay.
So you're losing a lot of Gilbo.
Yeah,
But both ways of the four corners.
yeah,
You had a lot of housing go up there during the mill boom.
Okay.
During the Schuster mill boom.
okay.
And that was a very important part of Douglas because, I mean, everybody who lived downtown was basically employed by
Yeah,
Schuster.
yeah.
So that, if we included that boom, we're now looking at this.
And how many properties is that show? We have to add 202 plus 79
Is
plus 2.
281, 283. 283.
Okay.
The problem is all those other properties are still
in
mixed.
between them.
They're still mixed in with them.
Yeah.
So
Right,
that
like
becomes.
non-contributing
Yeah.
But the
later
good thing
properties.
is, on the A form, if you look on the A form, they've got the type, and everyone we've done so far is building. It doesn't look like the 415 properties include any of the memorial sites or the squares or anything like that. So everything, or cemeteries, everything we have is straight building. The status is either a C for contributing or an NC for non-contributing.
What's
So-
our? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we looked that up. What was that?
I'm
It-
getting money apparently.
It was like between. It was.
That's a
It
good
was
thing.
between two things, right? When we looked up what the R meant for the
Yes.
years, it was.
And it wasn't circa.
No,
wasn't
it was
Arthur
something
Circa.
else, and I wrote it down somewhere, and I can't remember where I wrote
Range,
it.
range.
Range. Yep.
It's a range. So someone had it like built in like in a decade, say, and so then you take whatever's.
So, like I said, out of this, a ton of them are actually done by, here's the Form A. Maybe, here we go. So as you can see, a lot of them already have like the DOU dot number that includes the historic name, because that is coming straight from the Macris.
So it's sort of done in a way. Those
Parts of it are done in a way,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
What we would still have to do is, when we're looking at it, we would have to still do the map parcel number, which you've got to take off of the Douglas Assessor site.
Okay, that's easy enough.
Style, so you know what? I've been doing this forever. I was looking at the building report. I never knew vernacular basically meant it doesn't really
Have a
have a
style.
style. A ton of ours do not have styles.
No, they do not.
And the ones that do, what's interesting is, so one property,
Sorry.
Belding had it vernacular. When Macris put it in their system, they changed it to Greek Revival.
Fine, they go
Well,
by Macris.
the way I'm looking at it is, that's what they did. I put it as a note just so we knew that there was a discrepancy.
Yeah.
But if Macris is saying it's Greek Revival,
Then use that.
yeah.
I would rather always want to add some architectural detail versus being vernacular.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that's kind of how they had done it. So like I said, what we really need to find out is map parcel numbers. I would like to double check, obviously, the historic name just to make sure I didn't screw something up or miss something.
Yeah.
I'm human. We have to fill in the style for the rest of the Macris ones, as well as the ones that aren't Macris. Type, like I said, they're pretty much all building. We probably want to go, once the buildings are done, go back and add in the squares, the memorials. If we're doing the downtown district, we probably want,
Like the Civil War one.
yeah, we probably want that stuff in there. Status contributing, non-contributing, I think we've kind of decided
Yeah.
Yeah,
1945 and older, so we're covering the types of mills. And then photo numbers, that would be done afterwards.
We can just give our own numbering system
Yeah.
to those. Yeah.
Thing with the photos is every photo we have 2008,
Okay.
because that was when they were last done. That's,
I've taken a lot of photos since then.
so all the ones I've been given were as of 2008.
Right. I have many more that.
Okay.
So-
came in as recently as 2018.
And this is the B Street inventory. I didn't print it off for everybody because it's 32 pages.
Wait a minute. What do you mean the B Street inventory? Because it's not
The-
just B Street.
Well, not the B Street, the B form.
B form inventory. That
B
makes
form
more sense.
inventory.
Like, there's only like 3
Yeah,
houses
there's
on
only
Main
the
Street.
three houses.
Yeah, sorry.
32
That's a lot of
pages on
paper.
this.
And what the B form
It's got a lot
does,
bigger than a regular.
what the B form does, if we ever do need to do the B forms, is it tells us what version, if there is a version of the B form, graphics, if we need new graphics or not, which ones we have photos for, and which ones we have maps for.
Okay.
So that's just giving us an inventory that's in one spot, so we're not constantly being like, well, what do we have here? What do we
Yeah.
have there? It's all right there.
I want to look at the map again for the. I don't know which one we want to use.
Well,
But
we've got the big one in here.
okay. In case you want to mark
This
one
burned
up,
one of mine.
I'll bring this too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was
So
that accidental?
It was
Or
accidental.
You were using it for.
I was smoking a pipe
Here's the one
and
that,
I
here's the one that they,
Just some,
that they blew up for
threw some
us.
ashes out, and of course the area right below it.
Wow. Now it looks like
Caught on
one of those
fire.
old treasure maps.
Yes, now, of course, yes,
You
it looks
just have
about
to
it.
put the X on it somewhere so we can look for it.
So this is, so I'm just looking at what it was before, and like I can mark it along, you can see it better there, but I could mark it here. So it's
I've also
obviously
got the-
Main Street, go ahead.
I got the the board and the dry erase markers if you want to use
Okay,
them
I don't know.
to put over it.
Whatever you think.
Well, no, just
It's blue.
I don't know if it'll show up better.
So Main Street and then Cottage, which is here.
Right,
Help me find Bowen, Cook.
Bowen's right down further here.
Okay.
Bowen or Bowen.
Going off the map.
No, Bowen is
Long.
going to
Oh,
be,
it's just not marked.
Hold on one second. Yeah, Bowen's right here.
Cottage. Okay, Bowen, and I see Pleasant.
This is Cottage here. Not Cottage. I'm sorry. This is
Cook.
Cook. I had the C in my head.
Yeah.
I had the wrong C in my head.
Cook, Bowen, Maine.
Cottage is.
Oh, it's just over here. That's Main Street.
Let me just leave it there.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Steve, this is Cottage Street here.
And you got Pleasant. That's weird.
Okay, yeah, Cottage is.
And Depot.
Cottage is over here.
And is
Oh,
is this Bowen Court or is this Gleason? No, yeah, this is Bowen. And then you've got White out there. Yeah.
White. And White is on our original. No,
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so I'm not going to highlight it. So I got Maine, Bowen, Cook, Cottage, Depot,
Right,
Gleason Court.
Gleason is right here
it's a small,
Okay.
small,
because
Gleason.
that's the old
the old high school.
Okay, Mechanic, I just saw.
mechanic is am I?
Yeah, it's the main.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
right across.
Yeah,
from Depot.
I'm on the right spot. I just
got marked.
yeah, it threw me
I
off.
don't know how
Place.
far it goes, but Mechanic.
Mechanic actually only goes to here,
Okay.
and then it turns into
Turns to Manchog.
Actually, it
Okay.
turns into Manchog right after the bridge.
Oh,
Yeah.
right here?
Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
And
And then we
then
need North and
North
Oh, we have
is-
Pleasant.
So north is here up through here.
Okay, but we're
We don't know where.
Okay, so this is, it's kind of a weird shape. I expected it to be more
Well,
square.
the thing is, you especially want to do north at least down to here because these here
yeah,
were
those are very good.
those were
very-
Axe Mill.
Very axe.
Yeah.
very
Axe Mill,
Axe
and then they turned into
I would say not-
Schuster. I'd go to the Four Corners.
Okay,
Okay, same
So
thing,
then,
I'd go to the Four Corners,
you
and
know,
that's where I would
maybe
cut
now
it off.
grab the
Right.
other one, Becky, and then we could compare them.
What do you mean the other one?
The one you can wipe off,
Oh yeah.
and then, oh, I meant the map too.
Oh, oh, the one from
Sorry.
the town.
Yeah. And then we could, like make
Because
it, I don't know.
this
does
is
it-
the one we've got from the town. Is that the one?
Yeah,
you're
that's
referring
what
to?
I meant.
Okay. Nope. We can write on.
Oh,
That one's got
better.
the. That one's got the.
Oh.
Okay, so.
but is that smart enough to just, okay, so you can,
Okay,
I
so
have to turn this, right, to make it match?
so here we go. See, let's actually do on the bigger one here
Okay.
because
And a different color. So this is 1999.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
You're okay.
Okay. So
Do you want to mark what we have already?
B Street was not included.
No, but Cook was, this one
Yep.
is. And then I think you need to Cottage, so you would need to
Yeah.
square that off a little more.
Cottage.
And then I can't fully tell how far down.
I'm gonna assume. I'm gonna assume Depot went to to the Memorial High School
Yeah,
town hall.
To the,
Is
town
that
hall and a
something-
little past.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. That
Where
that
where
right
the
there.
mill, where the little mill building is.
Yep.
Okay,
On the split, yep.
so then the streets off of it.
Which
not
ones?
White. Gleason and Bowen.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that's Gleason. That's Bowen, and this is Gleason to there because that's where the old grammar school is.
Right,
Okay,
And
and
then,
then just
then if we do northeast to C Street, probably longer than we need to, and then we would want to do north to there. So does that everybody agree that look right?
there's really nothing good on C Street, right?
beside your house.
No, I'm on Charles Street.
And Charles Street.
Mine's pretty good.
Hold on.
But I'm the only, I don't know, it's only like two
Yeah,
old
you're right,
buildings.
you're right.
See.
But
C's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4,
I
5,
grabbed
6
Marsh.
on this.
Okay,
I grabbed Marsh out just so we can see if,
but
so
can I look up something for you and all these things?
C Street is page 15. Okay.
I
C
thought there were a
Street
few
had
on C Street. There's a few.
7.
Yeah, there's like,
C Street had 7, and I don't know if there's some
But it,
non-contributing.
but it
So C
connects, so it
Street-
seems to make sense just from that point of view.
C
Yeah,
Street
right.
doesn't, there were some, okay. 10 C Street was bought in the early 80s by either Hayward Company or Lee and Murdoch. It was a paint shop made over into a dwelling. So that's really the only mention you have so far of mill housing. That's what I'm looking for, because I think A, B, and C is where you're going to see possible mill housing
Right,
Okay.
pop
yeah.
up.
Okay,
That's why I want to, yeah, I'm not, C Street I would not have as having a ton of mill housing. B Street, oh my God, I want to say B Street is mostly
Yeah, mostly mill houses.
mill housing. So
is this how many there are in total? Oh, this is how many you found in Macris that are in other words like historic.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
So here, if we add B Street,
Yeah.
and A Street,
B Street 6 properties, 6 in Macris, so that's a good hit. That's a perfect hit rate,
Yeah, that's right.
And 11 versus 7 for C Street. 11 properties, 7 contributing,
Right.
basically.
If we get
so,
better than 50%, then it's usually we'll
Yeah.
try to use the street.
so
Yeah.
A
Outside of North
Street, I could be wrong, but I believe
Where's A
A
Street?
Street wasn't necessarily mill. No, A Street.
Here.
Yeah, A Street wasn't necessarily mill housing,
And
but A Street was where I want to say a lot of the Italians, when they came into Douglas to work the mills, is where they moved, because you had the Savianos.
so hold that thought for a second,
Yep.
Becky, because when like if we start to add that, then we like these were originally on our district,
Right.
and then we add a whole lot more. But is that a separate like tiny district, you know, or
Well, so if
or
we're
nothing?
talking mills, B Street was Axe Mill, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but Gilbo was Schuster Mills.
Mm-hmm.
All of that housing came a lot during the Schuster Mill time
And those are pretty
period.
good, as I recall.
What does Gilbo have for Gilbo?
32.
Oh, is that Gilbo has 32 or Manchog has 32?
Gilbo has 32 on Macris and
Yeah.
46 in total.
Yeah, so Gilbo was another. That's an if we're talking mill, being one of the main things we're looking at, you kind of have to add.
I only would say I would cut it off here only because there's so much distance between the corner of North Street and Gilboa before you get to any other historic properties out on the very fringe of
Are you talking here?
Gilboa, yeah.
No, this is the two
Yeah.
the two duplexes. There's not many properties between the two duplexes, and then when you get right to the mill, there's
There's
what was
five,
it?
I know, there's 4 or 5 right
Yeah.
there.
There's
So-
4 or 5 there? I'm
Yeah,
confused now.
this actually has a decent amount of.
There's one house
I
here.
know there's not.
There's one house on the right, and there's one house on the hill.
I
and
have
there's-
my
and There's
laptop.
nothing.
Becky,
There's nothing for a quarter mile.
I can pull up my laptop if you want.
I know when
What,
I
a
drive this
Google
road
Maps
every day.
Yeah,
There's one house here,
and I ended up.
there's one house here, and then there's nothing for a
Okay,
quarter mile
so here
to
we go.
get
Here's the
before the
four-
mill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Here's
once
the
you
four
get,
corners.
once you get past that 4-way, there's not,
there's
One,
nothing there.
two,
it was like maybe those
3, 4,
2
5,
big
6,
ones
7,
up on the hill
8.
before you get to the mill, but that's about it.
Where's
There-
it crossing to Oxford? And that's the mill.
That's
the
all
big-
I
the big
remember.
mill.
All of these are mill housing.
Yeah,
So why wouldn't you include them?
because they're too far away from the downtown.
I don't know.
To me, they're part of mill housing. They're very, and the mill is right there. I feel like if we're going to make this about mill, we need to include that.
Yeah, I know it looks like it sways way out of the area, but it's not like we're adding.
The thing is, it's not like there's a
50
million
buildings.
houses in between these that we're also adding.
That's true. There's not a lot of non-contributing there either because there's
So
just
look,
not
if
much
That's
there,
true.
not much there in
If
general.
I were to put non-contributing, there you
I
go.
would add 2.
Yeah, maybe a little
houses.
bit more than 2, but that's all you're adding. This
And
is
some of these were like 58/60, where it's hard to tell if they're one building or not.
But I'm saying if we're going to use the fact that we're trying to do this based on mills, I think one, you've got to
Like, what do we
include
decide we just based this on mills?
Well, we need to tell a story with the A form. We need to tell the narrative. This is historic because all these people moved here in 18 whatever because of some reason, and for us it happens to be the mills.
I mean, Douglas has a large Slovak population. The Slovak population came because of Schuster's Mills.
Yes?
Quite a few of the Italian population came because of the mills. If you're talking about the Hayward Schuster Mills and you're covering Hayward, I think you also have to cover the Schuster Mill.
Yeah.
And it's not adding that many properties. It's not like we're not trying to add any of this. We're ignoring that. But I think you've got to include that.
Okay?
So and then what about? So I think even though cemetery sounds like it's more relevant, it's not as relevant as we think, right? And-
Cemetery was actually
There's not
Cemetery
a lot
Street
contributing
was
cemetery,
on
right?
was
You're like
po-
on the corner. I'm never sure.
post
Yeah,
post
yeah.
1946
Yep.
Yeah.
or post World War
There's
II.
only like
3 houses.
3
The two
houses
we were
on it,
gonna-
and they're
The 3 we're going to include are post 46
Mm-hmm.
or post World War II. I mean,
And
the cemetery itself. Yes, that but
Which
we're
is a
not talking
separate
about-
thing
right,
anyway,
We're
yeah.
not, yeah, we're not there yet. We're still doing buildings. So
I can't tell what this street is.
which one?
This stretch right here.
This is the rest of Cook.
Oh, Cook
is
is that
it-
long? Okay.
That's a wonderful street.
Okay,
wonderful
so we're
little
thinking
house.
this
Yeah.
section too. So
Yeah.
I missed that.
We'd have to include that.
Yeah, I missed that.
Okay.
My bad.
well, now it connects. Okay, now I'm happy.
Like I said, A Street is questionable.
Yeah.
Because like I said,
That's
A
Italian.
Street and Manchog, you get into
There's a lot of,
they were created because of the mills, but they weren't created for the mills, if that makes any sense.
Like late, they came later.
Well, or they were where people bought their land to
Subsequent.
build the houses,
Yeah.
as opposed to the mills having
Mill
housing. The only thing on Manchog,
So are we only worrying about the mills? We're not worrying about other things
Well,
contributing for other reasons?
well,
or?
I'm just trying to get like areas that we can talk about.
Well, E Street had their they had quite a few places during.
They had the cider
dry
mills. Yeah, they had the cider mills, and
Because mine is one of the ones that's contributing because of the owner having illegal liquor
so if we
Yeah.
in the late 1800s with the tunnel.
if we add so if we add A
And I don't
Street-
think he was the only one on A Street because I remember
No,
reading
probably
about
not.
that. It was like A
Okay,
Street was
so-
the hot spot. You know?
pay for alcohol.
A Street
Right.
still has 19 properties pre-World War II.
Yeah.
C Street, like I said, that one has 11. Caswell Court had 9. And Caswell Court is actually not on this, and it's right
Yeah,
here.
right.
It's right next to the church. Like I said, Manchog, you've got more. The rest of Gilbo, and then Manchog's also, like I said, it's a church more than anything. And Manchog, you actually only have 9 properties prior to World War II, and I bet you they include the ones that are here,
Yeah.
as well as the ones that are right there.
Right.
Martin Road,
Not a lot. Yeah.
5. Mechanic only really has Jackman's.
Right. Yeah, basically this. this
Yeah,
little
I'm just
section.
trying to think. You've got
We lost that one that was on Mechanic too, the one right next to Unibank.
yeah. So you
Yeah.
I
So
don't
Throw
know
that
what
down.
number that was.
so you technically
another story.
it's being done weird, but we're counting one Mechanic Street is technically the that little property behind the Petraglias, the
Oh,
attached.
okay.
It's not one, it is one.
Mm-hmm.
It does one of those. You've got Jackman's, and then I think you've got like one more old one, but you don't have many old ones on Mechanic. It says we've got 3. I'm trying to think of the other ones besides Jackman's.
On Mechanic Street.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's the upholsterer, which is,
No,
Oats Beck.
isn't that Manchog?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Manchog Mechanic.
oh, it's those condos or duplexes that are set way back.
Right across from the ball field.
Correct. Well, no,
Hold on.
next to the ball field
Right,
on the
right.
same side of the road.
Mechanic. Let's
They're not contributing.
Mechanic, we've got 1850 was the open parcel that's burned down, so that's not counting. Jackman's is 1825, and then 8 Mechanic, which is the one across from Jackman's, I believe. Oh, Ricky Culinaro's old house. I don't know who lives there now.
I'm dinging, sorry, I'll turn my
And
radio on.
that's it on Mechanic. There's 2.
2 on Mechanic.
Oh.
2.
Okay.
Quite slim.
Yeah, because like I said,
Yeah,
the parcel that
lost a
got torn
couple.
down, that's what was throwing me off. I'm like, there aren't 3.
Yeah.
There are
Right.
because I never took the parcel off the
Oh.
list.
Okay.
So like I said, Mechanic, then like I said, this is the Manchog is questionable, that section.
Yeah. So maybe what we should do, like, we can just do it from here, right? Is add these up. Do you want to write it down and then we'll add it? It might not be perfect, so you might be cutting a street short a little bit.
Okay.
But give an estimate.
Well, so if we do, okay, so with A Street, we're doing, it's 13 and 6, right? Because
Yeah.
we're doing to 1945.
But
right?
we have to do the.
Oh, we have to do
Everybody
all of them.
before that too.
Did we ever get an answer on if they're non-contributing, if we have to include?
They have to be on there, but we just can do non-contributing. And I
Oh.
think when
Okay.
it comes time, if we have to do B forms, we don't have to do B forms for non-contributing.
Yeah.
So A Street is 22, with it being 19 and 3. Right?
Yep.
Contributing, non-contributing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's A. B Street we're doing?
Wait a minute. It's easier for me to look at
Sorry.
it this way 'cause on the map. So Gilboa, I guess it's the whole thing. 46.
35 and 11.
Yeah. And then North Street,
Okay, so North Street is gonna be wrong
because we
Because-
shortened it.
because we're only going to
Yeah.
4 corners.
Okay.
So actually, like, where's the sheet? Okay, so if we, real quick, if we look at this sheet, right,
Mhm.
for North. Okay. So this lot here is 51.
Okay. So these are probably the smaller numbers down to Main Street?
So 51, yep, here's really what we've got for, and for.
Okay.
Then if we're looking North Street after that,
Mm-hmm.
we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
They're so mixed up. That's the problem on North
Yeah.
Street, right?
But I mean, so that area of North Street, I believe, did have some farms and stuff back then.
Mhm.
They were farm properties, which is
Yeah,
why they go
they-
so far.
And why they split into newer properties too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I'm trying to use the mills as like an idea because that's really what downtown was about. Downtown was created because of the mills.
Right.
Because that's where the water source was and all of that. That's
Yeah.
why I guess I'm focusing on the mills. If we
Right.
did that, we would stop right here.
Yeah.
So, let's
we
see.
have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and a couple more.
Let's call it 16 for now, just
Okay.
to,
With only most old form would be most of them contributing, right?
so 1, 2, so 16,
1, 2.
18, no, let's go 14 and 2.
Yeah, 14 and 2. Okay, and then Main Street
Okay, so
is
Main,
that's another one that's not the same, is it?
well, so Main Street we run into the problem because it's really annoying. If you're working on a map,
Mm-hmm.
it's only listed as Northeast Main Street.
Oh,
Like I had to make every single one that was Main Street to get those maps. I had to turn it into Northeast Main Street.
Huh.
If you're on the assessor's site, it's Main Street up until a certain point, and then it turns into Northeast Main Street. So that's where you get into the fun with the Main Street, Northeast Main Street.
yeah.
I would say if we're not including C Street, maybe we do Main Street. Maybe we just go to the Fork.
Right.
Okay.
If we're not including C Street. I know some of these up here, you've got the older housing and stuff.
So this is, C Street to me is tricky because when I look at this, they're all contributing. They're all before 1945,
Yes, yes.
but they're not in really great shape. You know, they're not like great examples
No.
of anything.
Right.
I
So,
think one of them has one of those like sideways witch windows though.
mm,
So that's kind of a neat thing to include.
yeah.
Honestly,
A little
I mean-
architectural accent.
if you think about the time periods we're talking about, downtown, certain areas were probably where people who were poorer lived. A lot, like one of them on C Street is a shed from a property on Northeast Main Street.
Right.
So I think you've got a lot of that. So you're not looking at like necessarily the big houses. You're looking at more of like that type of situation.
Yeah. So, what do we think as a group? You know, is that still, it's still relevant?
Right.
You
I
know,
would
I
say
it's not
go
typically
and
what
do
you
the
think.
little V there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
It's
I
kind
missed
of
it.
like a
No,
different,
that's okay.
a different
That's
part
what it's
of
for.
the history, you know?
Yes,
it's
right. It's not
equally
just
as
wealthy
important.
and-
It's
yeah.
just, yeah.
So we're basically going to the Sokol Hall
Right, right.
Oh yeah, and Sokol Hall would be nice to have.
because the Sokol Hall was once it was a Methodist church originally.
Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And then,
So the greens are the maybes, right? Is that what we're looking
well,
at?
so, and then I guess so I'm just saying, do we include Cemetery Street now? Because they're non-contributing.
There's only like 4 houses or 5
Right.
And they're
houses.
non-contributing.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, I think we would have to technically include them
Yeah.
as non-contributing, but
Now we're back to almost.
Would what we choose to
No, not
include
quite.
for
Not
buildings,
quite.
So,
would it affect
okay,
us
Wickstead-
later when we want to add like burial grounds? Would
No,
that-
it wouldn't affect.
okay.
us.
So
okay.
something I had thought of, I wanted to get information beforehand. One of the reasons we're trying to get a lot of this done are there are 3 properties that, in my opinion, we need to get on the National Historic Register. The main one is this building. It would be really good for the library to be on the National Historic Register, grants, that kind of stuff. Along the same lines, I was going with the old town hall, also known as the post office, and the Memorial High School, also now known as Town Hall. 1904, 1923, and 1926.
Right.
I wanted to know if we could do individual properties on the National Historic Register.
Yes, you can.
You can. I wanted to know what was involved. And it's basically,
I know the process.
we would have to do it depends on if we want to put all 3 of them at once or if we want to do all 3 of them individually. So buildings can be 2 or 3 buildings that are historically associated with one another.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can kind of make them historically associated with each other.
Yeah.
It's a stretch.
I'm saying they're all town buildings.
Right.
town
Well,
buildings,
yeah,
but they're
yeah, I
individuals.
guess.
I think we
Right.
can submit it as a package, like those 3 buildings, do it all at once, but
Right.
3 different B forms or whatever the
Yeah. So
requirement
if we do it as each one individually, it's a B form. If we do it as each one, the 3 together, it's an A form.
Okay, I vote for B.
I vote for B. Yeah.
It would also,
B would be
so we
easier,
would
I
need to
think.
do the B forms,
Done.
comprehensive interior and exterior photograph keyed to site plans and or floor plans, and all photos numbered, captioned, and keyed.
All right, well, at least we can get inside photos of all of those, or public buildings.
Sure.
But
It's not
what
a
I was thinking is,
delineation.
they're all owned by the town / trustees, under
Yeah.
the library goes. We've got access to them. They're all active, in good condition.
Right.
We're not trying to do the
Engaging,
grammar
right.
school or the center school.
Right.
Yeah.
So
the
what
fire
I was
station.
almost wondering is, do we focus on getting those 3 buildings done? Continuing to get information done for this, but focus on getting those 3 so that we can start getting, they can possibly start being available for grant money and that
Especially
type
the
of stuff.
library, as a trustee, you know, they really wanted to try to get some grant
Yeah, I
money.
would say, yes, do the 3 first as a placeholder, and then do the rest.
Now, how, just out of
Oh,
curiosity, how would like.
that's what you were
um,
asking me. That's what made me think of this. You said, can we get the cemeteries in?
Yeah,
So what it is once
Oops, that's
you
my
can
notebook.
always add, you can always add a district to individual properties. Expanding a district becomes a little bit harder.
oh,
So for this to be,
So if it's inclusive within, if their cemetery is inclusive within the district,
because I
which
know
there are
like
several.
burial grounds, you
right
can
here,
look up
yeah.
on, you know,
Macris.
Macris right
Right,
now,
right.
so I didn't know if like that's automatically included,
Well,
or like
I-
it's something we'd have to separately add,
honestly,
or-
I
As
would,
Betsy already did a lot of the
Yeah,
cemeteries in
right,
Douglas already.
right.
honestly, I would
Yeah.
include the cemeteries in this district that we've kind of outlined. I would include the cemeteries. I would include the squares, because we've got Carter Square.
Right.
And any of the memorials. Because all of those are actually already in Macris.
Right.
right.
Oh,
Right.
even better.
That's right.
So they're already there. So I want to say what we definitely want to do is make sure we go through Macris and grab every little one that's already marked.
Yeah, there's like 4.
Right.
And
Speaking
then-
of like the doing like putting like say this building on National Historic Register, how would that affect it when they have to go do the ADA? Like, because isn't National Historic things restricted as
don't.
far as?
That's in the package
No,
too.
nope. That's local historic districts are where you get into
That's when you gotta, that would
Oh, okay.
actually have a regional district.
Yeah.
Where it has to comply with.
Right.
And
that-
yeah,
that's-
that's what I
that's
was
getting-
wondering if there's like a compliance.
Not-
Yeah,
not-
that's
not
getting-
for- Yeah.
that's getting bylaws and ordinance
Right.
passed, which
Never
I
gonna
honestly
happen.
don't think
Right,
will
right,
ever happen.
yeah.
They tried in the late '80s to get,
Yes.
and it
I was there at the meeting,
it was shot down.
shot down. yes.
Where they didn't even bother trying to move forward. It was like
Right.
brought up, and they were like,
Yeah.
They had that beautiful place in Putnam that, or was it Thompson? But I don't know if you guys know. I can't remember what it was called.
The Rufus Putnam House?
It was that white. It was giant, and it was like kind of what. It was a big white, sort of Gothic-looking Victorian, and whoever owned it, they wouldn't let them paint it whatever color they wanted, and it like fell into disrepair because the person was
in
just
Thompson.
annoying.
"Is that right next to
I
Marianapolis?"
remember. Was it like the?
That's a good
Uh,
story.
I can't
this-
remember the name
here's
of
the
it,
story.
though.
It's the William Mason House.
Yes, that's
in
the
Thompson.
one. There you go. Thank you.
Designer Mario Boada bought it back in the 80s,
Really?
thinking that Thompson would be the Berkshires East.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. Thompson is a very quiet little bucolic town.
Right.
There was not a lot of cultural stuff going around there. And he started doing preservation work on that property and realized that no, there was not a lot of other stuff, even in Putnam, that
Right.
would entice him. So he abandoned the property. It has
Oh.
since been heavily restored, well into 7 figures.
Oh wow.
No. Millions
Is it
of
right?
dollars.
Is that the one
I'll
right
have
next
to
to
go by it. I
Marianapolis?
haven't.
Yes, right by
I don't think I've
But right
seen
by the-
it since
Right,
probably
and somebody
like
from
10 years ago.
somebody from Manhattan with very deep pockets
Wow.
has built Anya the restaurant
Oh, thank
Oh.
God.
and
That's a good
they
restaurant.
restored the mansion.
Oh,
Like I said,
wow.
to the tune of $7 million.
Yeah.
And now it's an incredible. We drove by
Wow.
there today actually.
Oh yeah.
It's-
I didn't know it was the
yesterday
same one
was.
who owned Anya's.
Wow.
Same people. And I've actually tried to get a job as a concierge there.
Oh, yeah.
Hasn't happened yet. But it's fantastic. But it was a huge amount of work
I would
to
imagine.
do that.
Yeah. I
now
saw
it's
it when it
finally
was-
open, and it's going to be open as a wedding venue.
Oh, wow.
And then
Nice.
B&B,
Because
all that other
you
stuff.
had the people who owned the White Horse End owned the Thompson Manor.
The Thompson Manor.
And then you had, like I said, I'm pretty sure you're talking about the building right at the Marianapolis entrance.
Right, exactly.
In Anya's, yeah. Because I remember, like, growing up, like, going to school there, you drive by and you just watch
Don
that
and I
building
went-
get worse and
went
worse
to the,
every
what
year.
was it called
I
then?
can't
The
picture it.
the inn at the corner. It wasn't the White Horse Tavern. It was the.
What was it back then?
Actually, we were at the auction where the sign for that stagecoach stop was actually sold and bought by a museum.
Oh wow.
Like something. It was a big deal, and there was a restaurant there, and we ate there all the time. We actually closed the place a few times, like at 1 a.m.
Wow.
When the wife and I probably hammered to the gills, and
Right.
I remember turned around and all the staff was just sitting there waiting for us to leave.
Oh, no.
But it's, I think, more
Like flashing the lights on you? Okay,
No,
good.
they were very
Our
polite.
count up,
Oh,
right?
Because
really?
we've been really regular customers.
Oh, yeah.
That was Vernon Styles. Vernon Styles in.
Oh, yes,
wow.
thank you, yep. Do we, real quick,
What did we lose?
Manchog Street. Okay, we lost Wickstead, we lost Caswell, we lost White.
School court, which is like 2 buildings.
Yep.
We have Pleasant, that we always had Pleasant. North, we kept, but not all of it. Mechanic.
And Manchog, the question is, do we go up to the church? Or do
I
we,
just spent a lot of time working on that church detail.
no, I'm just saying, do we
I'm
go
just
up?
saying.
Right.
No, I'm fine, I'm just saying, do we stop at the church?
Yes, I would say.
And we don't include Caswell Court, we're just going to the church.
Right.
So this is what we are looking at for a district.
Yeah. Take a picture. Take a picture.
Yeah.
You're a phone. You're a phone.
Cummings
Take
was
one.
on there, we lost that, right?
Yeah, where is Cummings?
Cummings.
Oh, you know, I think she's been here.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna glare from the shiny thing.
I mean, we can, we can also, now that we know what it is, we can do it on the paper too.
Yeah. Look at extra papers.
Get rid of the glare.
Okay, yeah, I can see when you're getting close.
Yeah, so we're getting rid of Charles Street, Davis Street, Martin Road, Cummings Court is here. So we are, okay, so here's the thing. If we go here, we need to extend it a little bit further. We need to at least go
I would say yes.
Upper Hunts Pond, so we kind of want to
To
go to,
that corner, yeah.
Schuster's
Oh,
Mansion.
I thought that was down here, but yeah.
Nope, we want to do, yeah, so,
Oh, so this is it, right?
Right. Right.
so like, I want to say the Hunts house is like, Hunts have their houses,
right. All
there-
around there.
yeah.
I've done floor plans of all those properties,
So we
Right.
want to do,
so I have them.
yeah, but I think we can ignore Cummings Court.
Yeah, I
You can
remember
use
that
the
being
footprints.
not very contributing.
No, not very much.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
like
lose
3,
all
4
of Charles
properties.
Street or just certain?
Charles
Because-
Street has there was the axe
Isn't-
mill that was there, and
yeah,
there's
right.
the lower
So there's
village.
mill
Okay, so
housing
only-
there, right?
we only had 4 properties on Charles Street. We had what is,
Your house.
Yeah.
yep, we have that,
1800. There's two 1800s. Me
Right.
and my neighbor on that.
Right.
But see, it's right on the end.
but so what we also
Yeah,
had to,
maybe
no,
just grab those two
no,
houses.
what we
and-
had to include just based on
And
where
do
they
that,
were
yeah.
located is 20, so we had 26 and 29, right?
And there's
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, you're right. 25
And we had
and
to-
27 are the contributing.
You should include
Yeah,
those
and,
two.
and we had 26 and 29 just based on,
So
Right.
Lower Village, this is the only one I really know. So it's my house was the 25 is the store, and
Yeah.
the one next to it was a boarding house,
Right.
and then you've got the 4 properties on North
yeah, so
North
lower,
or Gilboa.
Lower Village is basically the start of North Street,
That
down,
was that, yeah, right.
it's this,
right.
right there is Lower Village.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
because I
think if
couldn't
we're
see
going
it.
for mill housing, we should definitely include those.
So it's
Yeah.
only 2 more properties.
Well,
Right.
two contributing, 2 not
Yeah.
contributing.
Oh,
Just based
right.
it on the way they're
Right,
across
right.
the street from each other.
It's like you're so close to the rest of it. I think we should just
Yeah.
Yeah.
hook a turn over there and just include
Right.
those
Yeah.
two and
So-
then be done.
Okay.
so
Were you making the list or was I at the number 2?
we kind of I think it might be easier if I do it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Main
Main
keep a running number. I'll write the numbers down.
Okay, so Main Street to Northeast Main, we're gonna start, where, oh, here it is. Okay, so,
Is this yours?
Yeah, I had a leak.
Oh,
No, what you were saying, you're saying it was a
doing some
burned out
tie-dye
stuff.
paper.
It doesn't seem like it has any lasting.
Is it- No, no,
It's
no. I think
readable,
right.
but it's gross.
okay, so if we were to go by Chris Bilodeau's house, which is the old cave house, which is the old Frost house.
I don't know any of these people. I know Chris.
That really, there's 3 properties between that and 196 Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
What is 196 Main?
96 Main, that's right
right,
here,
whatever.
isn't it?
No, it's up
Oh,
here.
is this up this way? Yeah.
Do you want me
Yeah.
to start Googling stuff? And I can just see what shows up.
Right?
Stop.
Get out,
Here
the
all
Google,
night.
get out the Google Maps.
Yeah. Google Maps are awesome. They make things take so much less
I have
time.
my computer.
We're
too.
hurting David's brain. He doesn't want to Google Maps.
I use Google Maps at home a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny, I went down to Thompson, Connecticut yesterday to donate blood, which I do every 8 weeks or so. And the
It's a
place
nice thing to
for yesterday was this YMCA camp on Kennedy Drive in Thompson.
Okay.
And I looked at the Google map, and it was just woods.
Oh.
I'm looking at this thing,
They
I'm
did
like,
one of those to you, huh?
woods, it was just woods. And I called, I actually, finally, on Tuesday, what's today, Friday? On Wednesday, I called and said, where are you? I said, because Google Maps says one thing, and they give a GPS dimension, which is another thing, and I look at the map, and there's nothing there but woods. And I drove up, finally, yesterday, after having lunch in Thompson, and it's a huge, it's like, it's the size of a high school. It's like 100,000 square feet.
Wow.
Massive thing, but it hasn't showed up on Google Maps yet.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they haven't taken photographs from the air.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
I think
Wow.
this
And the
one is
street,
one-
they don't do the drive-in from the street.
Yeah.
When you went there, well,
That's
of course, it's this 40 feet,
That's
40 foot
195.
tall, massive thing.
Right,
Okay.
wow.
No, that would be 196. That's 196, right? Is that one 196?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So do we want to start there?
Well, that one would be good to include.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, do we want 196 to be our starting point?
Sure.
Where is it on?
I'm trying to think of what else is around
So
it.
it's
but
right
definitely
here.
That.
It's
Yes, I think so. And it's up here, right? It's
no,
like-
it's this corner right here. It's number 59.
Okay.
That's 196.
Okay. And these are just a new cul-de-sac.
No, I believe that goes up to Schuster's Mansion.
Well, we want to include Schuster's Mansion.
Yes. 1939.
But so I think we start at 196.
So it goes up a little further.
No,
Oh!
well,
Sorry, I think this has the numbers on it. We should go to that. There's too many maps.
okay. Cummings Court right here.
We're looking for 196, or we think it's 196?
Oh, the cave house?
Cave House is 175.
Okay, that's the cave house right here.
Okay.
That's the West Street. So yes, right, these are the Schuster mansions.
Okay.
These two and the one up here.
Okay.
That's the cave house right here, because that's the one that's so far back from the road.
Mm-hmm.
Got floor plans for this, got floor plans for this, got floor plans for this, got floor plans for this.
Should we need them?
If you should, you need.
Okay,
Them
here we
all,
go.
right? They'll be like, wow, are these people thorough? They've even got his floor plans.
So if we do 196,
Mm-hmm.
it will then end up including Schuster's Mansion, which is 229.
Right.
Okay.
So if we start at 196, I mean, we're leaving, the only one really would be the Frost House, Cave House, Bilodeau House, which is 175, and we've got 3 properties in between that and 196 that would
Yeah.
have to be included.
Yeah. So we should include those, right? Is that what
I
you're
would
saying?
think so.
So do we actually want to start at 175?
Yeah, if it includes
Because,
those houses.
Because these are all historic houses.
well, I mean, there's still some, I mean, there's,
So it's
if,
between 175 and 196.
yeah.
So you've got
and
like
one
an
of-
80 and a 76, but you've also got
A
41
41.
and 1800s.
No, 196 is the one we're including.
1800, yeah.
Before that, we're losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We would be losing 6 pre-World War II. 1856, a 42, a 1874, and 1883,
Hi.
and an 1860.
I think we just have to forget those.
Okay, so we're going to start at 175?
Yeah.
Okay. So 175 Main Street
We're
and
gonna make some enemies.
Right.
Right.
Now,
Why
could
don't you
people,
include- you-
could
you could-
people do it themselves?
Yes,
if
they
really
could.
Exactly,
wanted to,
exactly.
if
They could
had
do a B
the-
form.
Yes,
Right.
of course.
Or we would promote, you know, we would help them.
Right,
Right.
right.
okay. So
We
if
don't want
we're
anyone to feel left out, so.
if we're including the Sokol Hall, that means we're going to 405 Northeast Main Street.
Okay,
Right, okay,
that's the Sokol Hall.
Yep.
yep.
And are we losing anything extremely important after that?
No.
Not
No.
really.
I can see it in my head.
Right.
I mean, the most we're really losing is going to be the Bosmas,
Yes.
the Bosma farms, and all of that. Okay.
Thank you so much for doing this detail work. This is
Right.
very interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I gotta do it, right?
I love this. I love this kind of stuff. This is the type of
I
stuff.
guess so,
But I've got a mind for it. Like,
Yes.
clearly.
well, I'm an archivist. My thing is making things neat and orderly. Do we want to figure out where we're cutting off North Street next?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, it was really great to see the different time periods with the pins, the different colored pins that you
I
could
know.
tell. Like,
Can
that
you-
was
that in the
amazing.
drive?
So thank
Okay.
you for that.
That was an Excel spreadsheet that I was just able to import them in.
Yeah.
And
Well, it worked really well to illustrate, so
Is
that was
in
a
our
really
drive,
great
or can you?
thing
yeah,
to do.
it's in the drive.
That. Yeah. I don't know what else to do with that. You
Okay,
should-
so we've got 51.
Yeah.
Okay, so North Street, we're looking at 51 here.
So right now we're ending like here.
Right,
So this is 51 North right there. And if you go across the street to 12, that is 42
numbers
42
are
Gilbo and 48 North.
Okay.
So 48 North is, I say we,
That's like our furthest east
Mm.
or northeast.
What
Yeah.
year
Right,
is
right.
that? It doesn't look super old.
48 North
it's a mix, that's the problem, it's a mix of new and old.
1965.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I say
I
we
would
start
say
at 30.
early.
I say we stop at 37 North.
Trying to find. I thought something had numbers on it. I'm trying to see it on the floor map. You don't care?
Oh wait, hold on. 50. Where's 50?
Right. Do some arm wrestling to pass
That's
the
part
time.
of the lower village, I think.
That's Gilbo. Where's 50 North? Okay. This. Nope, that's Gilbo.
Hmm.
I cannot find
It's just that there's a whole bunch of infill, and then when you get further up, there's
Yeah.
actually this small pocket of late 19th century properties. But it's
Okay,
so far from downtown, that's just it.
Here,
I can't see the.
if you look on behind, this is 50 North.
Hmm.
So we've got 48 North, which was 1965. 51 is vacant. This is Gilbo.
It was torn down.
Hmm.
And 50 North was built in 1963. So all of them,
Yeah. There's a
30,
Yeah, those
37 is the oldest. Now 37 is this house. Oh, what was it, this one? Am I?
This one back here.
Oh, hold on, sorry. Gotta go down a little
Yep,
further.
on that side. There you go. You got it.
There's 37 North. All the way down here. So right at the corner of Charles Street.
Oh, okay.
So that would be the last.
And that's part of the lower village.
Yeah, so
Right.
that would be the last house we're gonna do on North Street.
Yeah.
And then from there, whoops, sorry, wrong button. All of these are Gilbo.
Yes, yes, fine.
So we'll stop at 37 North.
Okay.
We'll do all of Gilbo. Because Gilbo is actually more contributing than non-contributing, right?
Yes, yes it is.
And then we're gonna do Manchog, we said up to the church.
Right.
So St. Denis is, okay, so technically, St. Denis is a non-contributing.
Right, it is.
Oh.
But it's an anchor thing. It's just a good thing to have as an anchor.
Yeah.
People will want, just as in terms of, as a
No
PR
problem with that.
thing, including the church.
Is a
which
smart,
And
yeah.
it used to be a much earlier church on
Yeah.
that site across the street.
Yep.
So, just
So-
based on that.
Always.
St. Denis is 27 Manchog.
27.
And what year is that? one now?
1955.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and there was a building there that was built in the 1800s.
Right.
Well, that's
Burned
contributing.
down.
That's
Right.
technically contributing. It's after this, before
Got
the
to do a
70s.
whole bunch of research on it.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
Spent like
Well,
half
then
a
we,
year on
then
that.
we can't just, you
No,
know.
we don't care.
and then the
Have to
rectory,
include it.
the rectory is really interesting because they had an original one and that burned in
Yes, and that
1903.
burned down and they built
And then they
another.
built another one, and then that burned in 1981, in
Wow.
1980, 1981, and that was rebuilt in
I'm just thinking to start
1982.
building them so flammable over there. She, it
Yeah.
must have been the church candles.
There was a
It must
thing-
have been, that's what it must have been.
There was a good episode of
And actually,
Barnacle, Barnacle the past, Chronicle, not Barnacle.
What's the other?
Chronicle the past
Manchog,
few weeks.
the
When they're talking about
Manchog
properties
actually
that were
started
moved.
at,
Smaller numbers or the bigger
Oh.
numbers?
And
we're starting at
I'm old
one.
enough, there
One,
used to
okay.
be a
Yeah.
place in Wellesley which basically got surrounded by a
Got that.
cul-de-sac,
Okay.
by a,
So we're gonna
by
do
a
Olive Cottage.
exit ramp
Yep.
known as the Pillar
Olive
House.
Gilboa and
in
Olive
Wellesley.
Cemetery.
Oh, wow.
It was,
Yeah,
it was
even
a Greek
Lakeside
Revival house.
Cemetery is one
It
of
was a
those.
fine
This is
restaurant.
Pleasant.
But it got surrounded
Right,
by-
Bowen and Gleason.
Gleason.
Exit and
And
exit,
Gleason
entrance
were
ramps.
only
And
included.
so it became
Oh, sorry.
non-contributing. So they took the place apart and rebuilt it somewhere like in New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
And now the Pillar House, that used to be the restaurant in the 70s and 80s, is now
Oh, yeah.
somewhere up in New
Yeah,
Hampshire.
it's all-
It's so
That's the house.
interesting when they move a house. It's
Olive
like,
Cottage, okay.
I
Now,
can't imagine what kind of undertaking that
Oh.
is.
it's
tell
technically
you.
non-contributing, and the question is, are we including Gleason Court, which has the old grammar school, which is falling down, and the current, what's it called now? The primary school, whatever the elementary school is that went up in the late 70s.
I think we should include Gleason because if do we want any monies for that,
For that building, for the old grammar school.
you know, if
Yeah.
someone wants
Okay.
to do a commercials.
Right.
Okay, so
I
if
wish
we
we could
include
cut it off at the old grammar school, just include that
Yeah.
one piece,
Yeah.
because I feel like the rest of the school is
Well,
not really
we
like
could
a-
do that. We could do the grant.
I do not think the grammar school would accept the grammar school in the
Okay.
condition it's in.
Yeah, it's as a B form. I was gonna
Really?
say.
I don't think
Okay,
they
you're
would
right.
accept that in
You're
an-
right.
Do they have like parameters of what's too far gone? Like,
Not that I've seen it written down.
I mean, could you just write poor condition?
You can,
I mean-
but that would
Fair.
be.
It's still
Fair
standing.
condition.
That's
Right.
poor
Still
Yeah,
standing
condition.
condition. It's actually in very good shape.
I mean,
Structurally.
it's brick.
Structurally,
How-
structurally it's in
right.
very good shape. But it would need $1 million to make it
Oh, I'm sure.
viable because of all the
zillion
lead.
It's
And
just
never,
this all
and then
that.
never mind the fact that it's on the same road as the school, which limits what can be built there.
Exactly.
But
Right.
the idea of trying to help with grant funding, like that's a good reason, I think, just to include it.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so do we include the current primary school, which is on the only other property on Gleason Court?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
just
say
include
yes.
that. Oh, really?
What you say,
The
no?
the current school, the current
No,
primary?
not the current school.
Well, the current primary school was built in 1978, I
I'd
believe.
say no on that
No,
one.
no,
No.
yeah.
Okay, so then
I would
Gleason were
say
only.
yes to the old
Only
one
the
and
grammar.
no to the new
Right.
one.
Only
Yep, the old
in the
grammar.
post office. Okay,
Nope, the post office is Main
separate.
Street.
Okay. Or whatever that number is, we'll figure it out.
This is what I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got. Okay, so we're in. Okay. Let's do a little bit of
I missed some of the streets.
working here.
Depot. We got to figure out the numbers.
So, speaking of things that are in disrepair and whether they're contributing, does Cottage Street include the old fire station?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Just
so we're
wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
That's
So-
my favorite building.
I know.
Didn't want it to be left out.
You want to move it? Is that why you're asking?
all of
Right.
John, all of A Street, all
Right,
of
I'll
B
move
Street,
it.
All of A
Taking the
Street,
tower with me.
all of B Street.
Right.
all of Bowen.
Okay, got that. And all of Pleasant, right? I missed
No,
that.
I'm going down the
Okay,
list.
go ahead. Go on your list. Yeah.
All of Bowen we're including.
Yep.
Okay, C Street we decided to include. We're taking out Caswell Court.
Caswell
Yep.
Court. You
Yeah,
sure, David? Okay, I have to. I have to
Yeah,
always
there's only a
think.
few.
I just can't remember on the map. I just can't remember.
Yeah, there's only one
Okay.
way at the top. And that's
We're
it.
keeping Cemetery Street. We're keeping Charles Street.
But we're only doing
Charles
part
Street
of
for a
Charles
little bit.
Street.
Yeah,
Well,
only
we're
those-
keeping the 4 properties
Yeah.
that were
Right.
always on the list.
Right.
Yep.
We're keeping all of Cook Street,
Yep.
all of Cottage.
Mm-hmm.
We took out Cummings Court and Davis.
Correct.
I think that makes sense.
Now we need to figure out where Mechanic and Depot
Okay.
cut off.
Right here.
Depot, we were going to the old
high school, what's currently
so like
the town
stopping at
hall.
29.
Yeah, because then you start getting more of a jump. I would say we stop
Yeah.
at 29
The one time, what street is
I would
this?
agree with that.
Depot.
29 Depot.
Yeah, that stops at the town hall.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
You don't need to go past that. And then, so then the smaller numbers, then it's like 1 or whatever, 1 or 2.
Right.
Okay.
We're keeping all of Gilbo
Gilboa.
minus. We're keeping all of Gilbo minus the pine sand.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys know
Leeson-
they want to build some more storage at Pine?
Yeah, I heard that.
Gonna be a lot more people.
Okay, Main Street.
Right.
What number did we say we were starting at?
Main Street,
175?
175 to 405 north. Well, that's northeast Main.
So we're keeping all of Main Street after 175. Manchog, we're keeping all of. Right? No,
Manchog.
Manchog was-
27.
1 to 27. Yep.
Right.
Martin Road.
There was only a couple.
Martin
on
Road's
there.
gone.
Okay, so Martin Road, what I think is the part that we had talked about. There are 4 old properties right
Oh, right
here
there.
that basically
Like,
combine with
the
Depot,
water.
go right
Okay.
over the World War II monument.
Okay.
I think it's okay to include those because
Yeah, yeah.
then we can include the monument.
Which color am I
well.
using?
I think.
I'll do pink.
So
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what those numbers are though. She's looking them up, I think.
So Martin Road, we're just getting rid of. We're keeping 3 and getting rid of the rest.
Do you know what the numbers are? Can you?
4,
4,
6,
6,
8.
and 8.
Oh.
Which is Nate, yeah.
I could see it behind you.
Oh.
she had it on the projector.
So I'm still trying to figure out when we get to it. What one was I trying to figure out? Oh no, that's the one I was trying to figure out. Mechanic.
North Street, we're getting rid of a ton on North Street. Wow. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, Martin Road.
Yeah.
Oh, then I did that wrong. That's 4, 6, and 8. But I have to figure out mechanic.
Mechanic, we're keeping everything.
Okay.
Right.
Northeast-
The Concerns
I don't
and
think there
Manchog.
was too much left on mechanic.
No.
so
Right.
it was like
Northeast Main Street, what is the Sokol Hall? Where are we, 405?
405 Northeast Main. So cool. Yeah.
And were we taking off Pleasant Street?
Yeah. No. No, we're keeping all Pleasant.
Keeping all of Pleasant? That only had 3.
Yeah, that's
But we're
good.
getting rid of
Nice
School
ones.
Court.
School court. Yes.
It's all that, yeah, it's right.
School Court, Wickstead, we're getting rid of all of those. White and Wickstead.
Right.
Do we want to get rid of Wickstead? Well, I guess
Yes.
we didn't do cemetery, so yeah. There's only a couple down there. But there's like one
Well,
that used
Wickstead,
to be a...
cemetery we're technically putting in because it literally
Oh,
falls
okay.
in.
Like right in the middle,
Falls
yeah.
in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I think Wickstead has one of the ones that used to be like a chicken coop and they converted it to a house.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's got like an interesting contribution, but it's
And
not
the
a
abattoir
lot
one.
of...
The abattoir.
Yeah.
I think there's the narrative in this, by the way, that we might be able to use for the
Oh,
acorn.
cool.
Okay, so we went from 415 properties to 246.
Wow.
245.
That's like 60%, 40%
Right?
down.
Yes.
Yeah, we really...
We went down
I
to
like
200
that. Narrowed it down.
And
Okay.
so I
What's
will,
all this stuff?
on Wednesday, I will update the sheets
Okay, with what we're keeping.
with what we're keeping.
And should one of us reach out to Ben, I guess? And just cut like a little summary of what I can do that. It's on the secretary.
Just tell them we're updating.
All right.
We've
updating
got
the-
those 3 properties. I can even give them an early copy of the B form.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we've gotten it down to, what was the number?
245.
245.
All right.
And we're,
That's what's close to the number that I came up with initially.
Oh, David, you're right.
and what we're basing it around is the reason that downtown Douglas was basically invented, being a mill town.
Right.
And so we've got both mills.
Yep. Well, and then in between.
Multiple mills.
Well, you've got the 2 big mills. You've got the Axe and the Schuster, Hayward Schuster, and then you've got the Satinette mills and the this mill and
Yeah.
the
There were 4 mills that burned down.
yeah. There's a lot of little mills in that history as
Yeah.
well. But we're doing it based on the time frame based on the 2 big mills.
Yeah, okay,
Alright.
got it. Okay, so I will copy you guys on that email.
I
You're
will-
probably like, whatever. I don't care, just tell me when you're ready.
I will.
Can I take my burn map back home?
Oh, one other question related to that is, I guess yours. They have, from what I was reading, like suggested consultants for this stuff. So I don't,
Suggested what?
consultants, because we're gonna need it, they're like, you're gonna need somebody. So I don't know if we should start that conversation.
Well, I guess,
Contact.
I guess the question is, are we gonna need a consultant for the 3 properties?
I would hope not, but maybe he
Because-
can ask.
Because that's, to me, I think that's the question first is, I mean, I'm so happy we got this down to an area, but now that we've got that, do we want to switch the focus now to the 3 properties and whether or not we need consultants? And
I
that
can
kind
ask
of
him
stuff?
That's
that
another
question.
question.
I can ask him that in the same
And
email.
and at least as far as I know, going to the rest of you, the 4,900 is still floating in now on our,
It is.
our budget. So it's still out there. It's amazing that it's
Yeah.
held in there for 10
And now,
years.
we're probably gonna need at least twice that, but at least it's,
We'll see.
we could say we've gained interest all this
I
time.
mean, I don't know if it
Accruing-
would fly,
Has it been
but
accruing
if we're
interest?
doing something
Right.
for the library.
What did we have it in?
chance the
Did we have it in a
trustees
good,
will
No.
good
get this
account?
on
No.
in the register, if we need a
have a high
consultant, would they
yielding
be
account.
willing to? I know Justin's
Yeah.
trying to get consultants for other things.
Right. I mean, possibly, because if we said we were going for a certain grant, but that would probably confuse the conversation about the library grant.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't
Yeah,
know
you don't want to
if it's,
mix those metaphors.
I just don't
Yeah.
know if it's worth, like, if the library's one of them, will the trustees be willing to do anything? Throwing it out there?
I guess it depends on the money, because I'm the one who wants to spend. So they're like, yeah, but not every, you know.
It's a
not
good
the only
question
one.
for them though, you know?
Yeah, if we knew, maybe we could at least get the name, so it'd be like, are we talking like, you know, how much are we
Right,
talking? Because we have to
right.
budget.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and maybe they could be on both, and maybe they, you know, spend a little time on this, and
Well, I know
I don't know all
that
the rules, but.
the other reason why this might be a good thing that if we're not focusing quite on this until maybe next year, this fiscal is going to be a bad time to ask the town for money.
Oh.
There's a lot being asked of the town this year, I
Yeah.
believe.
In
Yeah.
May, at the May meeting.
Yeah.
I would say.
Because I mean,
Okay.
the highway department is desperate.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that it's
Right.
in rough
Yep.
shape.
I mean, the office has literally become a trailer now. Like, I know the highway
Wow.
department is one of the main things that they are possibly looking at. So
Right.
we might want to.
Well, they've had a huge amount of work. All that work on Gilboa Street is insane.
So I mean, we may want to focus on these 3 and then worry about the bigger and the need for a bigger consultant.
For 2025 almost.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that's
I
just
think-
kind of
I
where.
think that's a good idea from what I've been hearing
Yeah.
about, you know, this year's versus what's gonna happen like next fiscal year. There's gonna be a little more because there's the warehouse projects that are gonna, like they didn't hit the budget yet. I don't think.
We don't have the money for the
Yeah,
warehouses,
right,
in other
right.
words,
So
yeah.
once
Right.
once we do, I think things might be a little easier to ask for a little more budget. you
Yeah,
know?
like I said, that maybe then.
Because we're
ju-
not gonna be ready for May anyway.
No,
Right.
that way let's focus on the 3. Let's see if we can do what we can do with the amount we've got, and then look forward going, or
Yeah,
look at more going forward.
okay. All right, that sounds good. So I'll email him, you'll do the list.
Yep, I'll get
and
it.
That's
So
it for now.
actually, one more thing. We did create an email address for the Douglas Historical Commission.
Okay.
The main reason being, I wanted a Google Drive where
Oh.
everything can go into pictures, maps, everything. It's all being stored in one place. That way, you don't have one person's got this information, one person's got this. It's all in one centralized location.
I can
That makes
text
sense.
this.
And I can share the main
Yeah,
Google.
share that to us because I use
I'll
Google
just, like,
Applications.
Yep, I'll share the main Google Drive folder so everybody's got access to it. But like I said, this way we've got a central collaborative workspace
Yeah. Sounds good.
that's got the A forms on it. So when it
Right.
comes time, we can all start bitching in on the A forms.
Right. Sounds good.
Okay,
Anything
I'll send
else?
you both this.
Thank you. Beautiful job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice